Skip the stress and learn exactly how probate works. Tune in to Unleashed and take control of the process today.
Maybe you were going through an estate plan and a lot of things were tidied up and handled well, but then a couple things, crept through the cracks there, and now you're dealing with it.
Yeah, the nice thing about Michigan is they do allow for that small probate. So like you said, if it's under 30,000, there's a little more of a simplified process to get that money out of probate so you can, start acting on it. Probate, ultimately someone dies and, there's no beneficiaries on their accounts is ultimately what happens. And then, if there's no beneficiaries and you're not an owner of the account, really you can't just walk into a bank and say, hey, my mom had this bank account, she passed away, give me the money. They're going to go tell you to go away because you don't have any authority. You don't have, you just can't access any of that information. So some of the things, that I see, often are, people will have multiple bank accounts, or maybe they started a high yield money market and, they did everything right. They get all their accounts titled properly. Maybe they put a transfer on death or a beneficiary designation on most of their accounts, but they forgot to do it when they set up a particular account.
A common phrase that I hear when I sit with people is that, they're like, oh, I have a trust set up, so probate's taken care of, or I have a will, so probate's taken care of. Well, for both of those things, really quick, number one, a will only works in probate. So if you don't have a trust and you just did a will and you said you got all those things done, well, the will only works in probate. So even if you have everything dialed in and it's all in there, you still got to at least go to probate and show that will and go through that process. And it might be a quick one and not painful, but that is still how it works. So you're still going to probate in that scenario. As for a trust, yeah, you might have a trust and you might think everything's, and you might have a pour over will provision to put everything in the trust if you missed an account. But again, if you missed an account and didn't title it or had it going, TOD or POD, which I'll touch on in a second, to the trust, you might be in the same situation again, going back to probate.
Skip the stress. Don't avoid this episode of Unleashed, where Andrew and Ryan unpack the ins and outs of probate.